Everybody's been asking me how I achieved the edges for this look, and I'm happy I kept the videos, but let's go ahead and get right into it. First and foremost, you have to make sure you have a good foundation. I want your edges to lift while you're doing it. I always do an extra melt before I do my edges using my Fantasia spray. Then I make sure it's dry before moving on to the next side because it contains alcohol, so you don't want it to lift your lace. Go ahead and tie it down with some stockings that like grandma used when they go to church. Once I take it off, I make sure I brush the edges out so they're not super crunchy, and I pluck them so they're thin. Don't want them to be super thick. When I'm cutting my edges, as you can see, I'm using the scissors, but I'm not closing them. You don't want the cut to be so precise or it won't look natural. It's really best if you use a razor. I just like using my scissors because they're stronger, but you see I use a razor here. Don't get super scissor friendly when you're cutting. Always go back and cut more, but once the hair is cut, there's nothing you could do. And curl your edges. You can either curl them upwards or downwards. I prefer downward. I play with them, seeing where I want them to lay before I add any product. Now, when swooping your edges, it's easier if the front is shorter than the back. So I went ahead and took my razor and cut more off from the front. That way it'll be easier to swoop. And when you are swooping, you want to start with the back, then the front. To mold my edges, I start with just a little bit of Got2b, not too crazy. Pull the front forward so I could start with the back. I start swooping the back, getting it into the form in which I want. Then I come back and pull the front together. Initially, I wanted to do like one of those loop-de-loops, but then I end up not liking it and I changed it. So as you see, I'm taking my time and using my finger as a guide. I'm pulling the back first, then coming back to get the front. This is how it ended up coming out, and I did not like it, so I decided I was just gonna swoop it and brush it into the hair. Now, since it wasn't gonna be going into a loop-de-loop, I would need for the front to be shorter than the back once again because it's gonna be brush going into the hair. I grabbed my scissors and I cut just a little bit off in the front, nothing too crazy. So now when I swoop it, it'll look like the front is pulling into the back. For that little middle ring around the rosy edge, I always do that after I do the first two main edges because it makes it easier so it don't get caught up with the other hair. Pull it downwards as I did before, play with it a little bit, then add Got2b. Use my finger to hold the top part of the hair that's connected to the lace, then I use my other hand to try to pull it around in a loop-de-loop. And when I got it in the place that I wanted, I take the rat tail end of my comb, play with it a little bit, and blow dry it in place. Then I repeat the same process on the other side. Not gonna lie, I hate doing the other side because my arms literally be dying. In my opinion, edges are super easy. You just have to take your time. I'm gonna try to do another video, but I did hope this helped. Until next time, thank you guys for watching. Bye, y'all.